Thank you for your interest in the Critter Depot. We sell and ship hundreds of thousands of live feeder insects every week, and today we want to show you what it's like to receive Dubia roaches in the mail. Now, as many of you probably know, Dubia roaches are considered one of the best feeder insects for your pet. They offer about the same amount of lean protein that you can get in crickets, but they will also offer twice the amount of calcium that you would get in crickets, which is great. Which is a great way to prevent metabolic bone disease for your pets. Another nutritional benefit is they also have a very low amount of chitin. Chitin is a hard, fibrous material, and if your pet gets too much of that, it can cause impaction. Adult crickets have chitin, and especially mealworms. Mealworms have a lot of chitin, so they're typically not recommended for bearded dragons. But dubias don't have a lot of chitin. As dubias grow older, the exoskeleton doesn't get thicker. So what that means is the amount of chitin in a dubia remains low all throughout its lifespan. Which is great for bearded dragons, leopard geckos, and anything else that could suffer from impaction. Now, one downside of Dubia roaches is they are outlawed in a couple states, and that's for ecological reasons. Now, one way to get around this is to consider discoid roaches. Discoid roaches are very comparable to Dubia roaches, and they are actually nutritionally superior in a couple categories. And discoid roaches are legal in the state of Florida. So if you're a Florida resident and you don't get the benefits from Dubia roaches, you can definitely consider discoid roaches, and we do have a video that shows what it's like to unbox discoid roaches as well. Now, before we unbox our Dubia roaches, we're going to want to make sure we get their habitat prepared, and it's pretty easy because all you need is a 5-gallon bucket. We love using 5-gallon buckets because they are cheap, they are easy to move around with the handle, and Dubia roaches will not climb out due to the smooth, tall sides of the bucket. Now, Dubia roaches, they are nocturnal, so you will need some type of cardboard hiding furniture for them. We do package them with the popular egg cartons, and you can certainly use that, but you can also use paper towel rolls. That works as well. Now, if Dubia roaches could talk, they would tell you they like temperatures in the 80s. Now, if you're trying to breed Dubia roaches, you're probably going to want to bump that up to even mid 90s. But since you're just using them as feeders, you can store them anywhere in the 70-degree range. You could even bring it down as low as 60, but at 60 degrees, you will start to see some die off. Dubia roaches, they are also they're considered a tropical roach. So what that means is periodically you should mist the inside of your habitat. They do like a higher humidity, so you might want to just spray it down maybe once a day, once every 2 days, but just make sure you use some common sense with that, because if you start to see puddling water, that's too much. So before you mist it again, just make sure you don't have water puddling on the bottom. So as long as you can sustain that, I mean, just as long as you get your bucket, you got your habitat ready. So we are ready to open our Dubia roaches. So we package them in a corrugated box. We mark it live animal, so the post office knows what's inside. And the reason we like using the box is it helps insulate them during both cold temperatures and hot temperatures. So something else. Now, depending on what type of the season, we could either package them in deli cups, or what we have here, a breathable cloth parts bag. So this adds a little bit more insulation during the colder temperatures. This is nice breathable material, and it's also fairly thick, so it's not going to rip, and has a nice drawstring top to it, which makes it pretty easy to package them and unpackage them. So okay, and that is the egg crate that we package them in. And I'm just going to empty this out into my bucket. Now this is about a 50 Dubia roaches in an order, and what they like to do is hide in the nooks and crannies because they are nocturnal. So you can see more on this side as well. So just place this down here, and I can give it a little shake. And just, they like to, they're not good climbers, so they won't climb out the bucket, but they can grab onto the threads of the bag. So, and they like to play chase, and that should be all of them. Okay. Okay, so these are the medium-sized Dubia roaches. They are about 3/4 of an inch. Dubia roaches, when they're born, I say born in quotes, they're about an 1/8 inch long, and about every 3 to 4 weeks they will grow another 1/8 inch. So these guys, being 3/4 of an inch, they're probably about 3 months old. Now Dubia roaches will hit sexual maturity once they get to about 1.5 inches, and at that point they will start to grow. The males will start to grow long wings as long as their abdomen, and the females, they will have these little stumps where the wings would be, and that's how you tell the difference between the males and the females. In this stage, this nymph stage, you can't tell unless you cut one open and saw which gender it was. So these are our Dubia roaches in the bucket. Now, they still need some food and hydration. So Dubia roaches are cockroaches, and they will eat practically anything. But since we're using them as a feeder, we want to try and gut load them just so they can pass that additional nutrition onto your pet. So pretty much fresh vegetables, fresh food, fruits are going to be the best food choice for them. So what I have here, I have some squash. You can break it apart, chuck it in here, and after the transit they're going to be a little dehydrated, so in a couple minutes they should start swarming around it.